Welcome to Flat Earth Debate. I'm your host, Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they're live, and a link in the info box below the video once it has rendered. But most importantly, if you would like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show, as this increases the live audience, of course, but that in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel, so please share the show. And one last time, if you are new to the channel, or you have not done so already, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined by Sleeping Warrior. Very good to have you here.
Good morning, good morning, good morning.
Good morning.
I didn't see the link come through on Skype because I was too busy watching the edited video from yesterday's Hangout.
The one you made?
I've watched it about 6 times. To be honest, I'm really proud of the editing skills because Rumpus is the master of deflection. He can create fluff out of absolutely nothing. And essentially, the conversation yesterday, really, it was like 3 questions. And all I had to get him to do was address the third question. And it took that long to get to the third question that by the time we got to the third question, we had like 20 minutes left. It was really bad. So I had to edit down a lot of the fluff. And it's really hard to work through the stuff that you need to categorize as fluff. You have to go through it and think carefully, like, right, where are the points where we were on topic? And let's work out all the points that we were not on topic. And yesterday, honestly, the amount of fluff yesterday was just unreal. So obviously I had to edit all that out yesterday. It took a lot longer than I expected. But ultimately, the result was that a 2-hour hangout was 10% of its total thing. And it means that instead of like watching the hangout for 2 hours, I can now pass it around to people in Flat Earth and say, right, check this out. It's 20 minutes, but it's 10% of what it actually was. And ultimately, he had to concede his point. And I think that I've satisfactorily showed that the ballers, particularly in this case, Sly Sparkane and the Rumpus, they will literally lie to you about A, the interpretation of evidence, B, what that evidence means on their model, and C, they will push you, they'll kettle you into a particular corner and get you to do some stuff. Basically, we call it trolling, but they're pushing you into a particular area because essentially they know what's going to happen if you do what they want you to do with a camera pointing at the horizon. And yesterday's hangout was so fluffy. Anybody that witnessed it live, I have to commend you for putting up with it because it was a long, drawn-out process. And ultimately, when you get to the condensed version that Nathan and I have shared on our channels, it's 20 minutes. But that 20 minutes is really, really condensed and precise about exactly the issue that we're looking at. It's really good. And just go on and give us a like or a dislike if you didn't like the video, because ultimately it was just it was a really good moment to show that these ballers, they're not actually as honest as what they tell you they are. And they're trying to lead us down traps. It's nonsense. It really is nonsense.
Just to plug it, so on your channel, I've forgotten the title. On my channel, it's called Dip Angle Debunked. But yeah, check it out on either Sleeping Warriors or my channel. But it's well worth a look. You know, ultimately speaking, as Anthony says, they're quite content to lie about what you're looking at. And that's what we pointed out. We got a concession. We got it to the point where we basically pointed out that there isn't a real horizon to measure. There's an apparent horizon. And I've got to be honest, from my perspective, I knew that in the air. You know, I just didn't know it on the ground. Not because I didn't realise all of the details involved, because I did, but I didn't put the two together. So, you know, it's useful for a lot of people who may already realise that we have an apparent horizon up at altitude. They may not realise that that's the case on the ground as well.
Yeah. Morning, Mr. Doxy.
Good morning, gentlemen.
How are we?
How you doing? Good to have you.
Very well, thank you. Just, I haven't got a lot of time today. Oh, hang on.
You have or have not?
No, but I just want to just get things clear in my mind as to what we achieved yesterday. Boy, Rumpus is hard work, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I I have a very short attention span, and I sort of lost interest. But I did watch your video last night, and I watched it twice as well. Bottom line is, theodolite's good for measuring short distances for building.
Correct.
When you're looking at
the other bottom line is that which we perceive to be the hard horizon with the sea where it meets the sky.
Yes.
Often isn't, and if it is or if it is not, you can't tell unless you've got a structure on the surface like turbines or mountains or whatever. Unless you've got something risen above the horizon that you can reference and you know what it's supposed to look like. I mean, the turbine blades, they look like, as they get round towards the 12 o'clock mark, they're nice and straight up and stretched, but straight. But as it whips round towards the 6 o'clock mark, it becomes like a quaver. Yeah. Now, that's a bit of an issue if you're going to argue that we're looking at the actual turbines. Now, clearly, we are looking at turbines, but are they actual or are they something else?
Higher rumpus.
I don't think that's the real one.
You're not? Okay. So the horizon is never clearly defined because there's so much atmosphere, temperature changes. And the theodolite would be useless trying to point at the horizon because we don't actually know where it is.
Is that the real rumpus?
It is me.
Good morning. How are we?
I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine. Hilarious. You think you going on from we see what's there and then we see, and now you're telling us where we see the horizon. It's not the horizon.
Correct.
I can't believe it. You're going back completely on every single thing you've ever said, you and Nathan. I cannot believe you've gone down this route. What is the horizon?
Flatmate. Oh.
Rumpus, can I talk to you?
He's been kicked.
Oh, has he?
What? Right. I thought I got to flatmate quick enough.
I've got flatmate, but he got rumpus. Will you get him back in on Skype? I want to hear what he's got to say.
No. That's tough luck. The amount of times I've just let flat earthers drop because I can't be asked to start a new hangout. If more people get dropped, then yeah, he might get another chance to join. But
hi, Ruhif.
How are you doing, Ruhif?
Hello. What happened you with Rumpus? Hey, not bad. I just missed what happened with Rumpus.
Somebody joined just to kick him.
Sorry?
Flatmate joined just to kick the rumpus. He tried to kick everybody, but Nathan we both got flatmate before he got everybody, but he managed to pull rumpus out, which is a shame because I really wanted rumpus to explain himself. I mean, he's obviously...
What was he saying? What was he saying that you've gone back on everything? That's the only part that I
heard. He was saying... I've just messaged him on Skype. Nathan, could I add him through my Skype and then feed the sound through my computer through the Hangout? Oh, no, that wouldn't work, would it? No, it wouldn't work. He was saying, well, he said that we were backtracking on everything. Oh, no, he's normally a trouble causer. He was saying that we've backtracked on our previous position in some reference, but I didn't quite... I'm not sure exactly what he was referring to. I suspect that he's referring to when Nathan says things like, we see it because it's there. Now, then it would appear that we are saying something in Rumpus's eyes that, well, it maybe isn't there after all. And that's not what we're saying. What we're saying is the horizon is an apparent horizon. It's not an actual horizon.
Do you agree with that, Riff, that the horizon is ethereal?
Ethereal? I'm a little confused if there is refraction. If there's inverted inversions, I'm a bit confused where the horizon is. I still think it's the lower part, but I'm not sure. Fireball. What's the go they've been sniping tonight?
What's what?
What's the go with everyone joining to snipe?
There's Sean Ufford got done last night, which I find really... I'll be honest, though, I wasn't going to mention it, but I can't help myself because at the minute we're talking about people joining sniping us. We've had 3 attempts already. Sean got pawn bombed last night on a sock account that was in my name, and I'll just put it out there for the benefit of Sean specifically. If I was going to pawn bomb you, Sean, I would tell you. I would want you to know it was me, and I wouldn't pawn bomb you because even though I don't particularly like you, I appreciate that you're there because your hate gives me subs. So I'm happy for you to hate me. However, if it was me that really did pawn bomb you, Sean, I would admit it and I would tell you to your face. On that occasion, I was in a hangout with Nathan and 2 or 3 from FE Core, and I was engaged with them all night. And Nathan's my witness. Chris Monkselly's my witness.
Lying, he wasn't with me. Don't know what he's talking about.
Shut up, you dickhead.
I don't know. You obviously want me to play this by ear, but I'm not going to lie for you, man. If you've pawn bombed him, just accept it.
Shut up, you dickhead. I was on with you all night.
Jamie, how you doing, Jamie? pretty sure you're a Dodge character. I've seen you before.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you... Oh, he's took fucking Ruhif.
Ruhif. They don't want us talking to globe heads. Look, guys, just because we've debunked your dip angle, you know, don't remove all the globe heads. There's no need.
Fucking hell.
What a waste. We had Ruhif who's being really cordial.
Right.
I like
Nathan,
Ruhif.
can we start a new link and let me just get the Rumpus and Ruhif back in?
Okay, I'll start a new one. Yeah,
I
okay,
have,
that
to go,
Mark.
I have to go, gentlemen. I'll listen to the whole thing later on tonight.
Okay.
Cheerio.
Okey-doke.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, so the link is published on Skype. Hopefully, I'll get a few people in a moment. We shall see. How you doing, Rumpus? Good to have you.
I'm here.
How you doing, Sleeping Warrior? Good to have you.
We're not giving the link out publicly yet. No?
I won't give it out for 5 minutes now.
Yeah, let's just get the conversation started and at some point then pass it out. But tell us publicly. Don't just put it in text. Tell us when you've actually done it.
Okay, I'll tell you when I put the link out. No worries.
All right. Right. So, Rumpus.
I am absolutely amazed at what you're doing now after Nathan going on for week after week about saying, oh, we see what's there. There it is. We see it. Therefore, it's there. And now you're saying that the horizon, the most solid thing in almost any picture, you're now saying it's not there. Unbelievable retraction. You've invalidated every thing you've said for the last 2 months.
That's not a retraction. We haven't retracted anything. So when I say we see the lighthouse because it is there, we do see the lighthouse because it is there. That is what I have stated, and I have in absolutely no way retracted that. The horizon is something you are using to measure a dip angle, and that has been conclusively debunked yesterday.
No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
Absolutely.
We have absolutely unequivocally demonstrated that we have an apparent horizon. So measuring to an apparent horizon and having you consistently and over again say, this particular theodolite measurement isn't correct because in this instance we have the wrong temperature, the wrong day, not enough wind, too much sun, too much refraction. So in other words, it is not a useful way for measuring dip angle as you asserted, and we conclusively debunked that yesterday. It was good fun holding your toes to the fire for 2 hours while you obfuscated every single point we made.
Right,
and
now,
eventually
you
eventually got to the stage where you conceded that the horizon is not consistent and is not an accurate way to calculate a dip angle, because it is not the horizon, it is an apparent horizon. We went through all this yesterday. The concession has been edited and presented to people. The debate number 169 is still available for people to see Rumpus being taken very, very slowly through his own bullshit. It was fun to do, but ultimately we got Rumpus to concede. We have an apparent horizon. So using this to get accurate measurements of a globe is fallacious, nonsense, useless, that Rumpus has lied about, to try and assert that the Earth is a globe, because he has absolutely no scientific proof whatsoever of Earth's sphericity. There is no scientific proof of Earth curve, and what Rumpus offered in its place was for us to go and demonstrate it to ourselves with the theodolite. And ultimately speaking, this cannot be done. The dip angle has been debunked because we do not have a horizon to measure. We only have an apparent horizon. That is a fact. It is something you have conceded, Rumpus. Don't have to like it, my friend.
Where did I concede that?
You don't have to like it.
Where did I concede that?
You conceded that we have an apparent horizon, and
No, I
we
did
do.
not. Absolutely
yes, you
not.
did. You conceded it when it was demonstrated to the audience and to you by Anthony Riley. It took 2 hours to take you through it, but eventually you conceded that in many instances we do not have an accurate horizon to measure a dip angle because, as stated now twice to Rumpus, who has no scientific evidence whatsoever of Earth curvature, we have had to demonstrate to him for a very long and painful process that there is an apparent horizon, something which Rumpus had to concede because he had drawn a line against where the horizon was and claimed, and then demonstrated with his pictures that were taken from the exact same place with the wind turbines by Ranty, that you cannot deduce where a dip angle would be, and a theodolite would be absolutely useless at doing this because we don't have a horizon, we have an apparent horizon.
Speaking and behave like
Why
a
are you
reasonable
interrupting
human
me?
being.
Why do you keep interrupting, Rumpus?
Because, well, I'd like to say something. I mean, you're claiming I conceded something. I think it's quite reasonable.
Claiming you conceded. You did concede because it was demonstrated and it was obvious and observable to both you and everybody watching. That is why you conceded. We did have an apparent horizon. You located a line incorrectly. It was amusing. It took a long time, but we got to the stage where you did concede that we have an apparent horizon. And then you gave a whole list of things that we would have to do differently that were not part of your, oh, it's very easy. You go to St. Bees with a theodolite for £20 and ultimately speaking, you can prove the Earth is a sphere. No, you cannot. You later came along with a load of concessions, a load of add-ons that said that we had to go when it wasn't sunny, when it was windy, when the temperatures were right, we had to get higher. We had to do a whole list of things to make it just so, because that's all it is, a just so story, because you don't have any scientific evidence. You don't have any scientific proof. That is what you offered, and it has been absolutely and unequivocally debunked yesterday by Anthony. This is not up for discussion any further. The dip angle has been concisely debunked. We got a concession that we have an apparent horizon, Rumpus. You don't have to like this. You don't have to like it.
Didn't concede horizon. Oh, right, I gotta go, do I? Right, the diagram, the picture with the dog that Anthony presented, that was not a horizon. That was a random piece of...
Yes, that's our point, Rumpus. It wasn't a horizon, yet it is where you drew your line and claimed we could calculate a dip angle from. Correct. It is not a horizon, in spite of the fact that you claiming it is, and claiming that we can measure a dip angle from it. That is precisely the concession that I was talking about. Thank you for once again conceding that that is exactly our point. Thank you, Rumpus. You're very good to have on the panel and concede again.
He wasn't showing horizon, was he, Nathan? He was showing
that's
a random...
the point, Rumpus. He was showing an apparent horizon. Even though you declared, before he widened the picture and shown that there was a mirage, you declared that it was the horizon. You were wrong. You couldn't measure to it. If he'd have put a theodolite on it, you'd have rejected it. I would reject it too, because we only have an apparent horizon.
Showing horizon, was he, Nathan?
Yes, that's right, an apparent horizon. We don't have an actual horizon to measure dip angles from. That's just nonsense. A just so story. A mere observation that you have decided to attach this scientific proof to. It's not scientific proof. It's not proof. It's not anything. It's just a nonsense story that you've come up with that you can try and pick apart in the aftermath. So, let's ask Rumpus for the 44th time. Rumpus, where is your scientific proof of Earth curvature?
He didn't show a horizon.
Where is your scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus? Rumpus,
that was a random...
you challenged us to go to the beach with a theodolite and prove that there is a dip angle to be measured. There is not. So, I will ask for a 44th time, where is your scientific proof of Earth curvature? So far, you've been asked it 44 times, and you have failed totally and utterly to present anything that even slightly represents scientific proof of your nonsense ball.
Now. Come on, Auntie, let's see a picture. Let's see a picture. Present your picture, Nathan. Show Anthony's
Sorry, did you not understand my question? Are you deaf, dumb, or just ignorant? Where is your scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus?
Okay, ask me a question.
I will ask you again for a 45th time. Where is your scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus? 45 times I have asked you this question. You have offered 5 things, all of which have been conclusively proven not to be scientific proof of Earth curvature. So I will ask you for a 46th time. Where is your scientific proof of Earth curvature? Do you have any? Do you? Do you have any scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus?
They're not where they are. They're not where I see them. They're somewhere else. I've got an apparent horizon. We don't see what's there. There is not what we see. You've gone back over 2 months of this meme, this idiotic meme, and this horizon. You've dispensed with all of that. You've gone back on your whole principle of...
No, we haven't gone back on anything. Right, I'll explain it again. We see the lighthouse because it's there. That's a fact. We can take straight line measurements, simple trig, to it and the mountain. It all comes back with a positive result. It's been modelled, it's flat. You account for this observation, which is absolutely of a flat Earth, by incorporating a presupposition of a curve. I am asking you, for the 47th time, I believe, where is your scientific proof of Earth curvature?
Nathan, I have no idea whether you're over-talking me or... If you ask me a question, I'll answer it.
Where is your scientific proof of Earth curvature?
Right, you want us to take turns now, do you? Okay, so you can ask me a question, and then I will answer it, and then I get a turn, do I, to answer?
Look, I don't really understand why you're struggling with this. Right, I've asked it. 48th time I'll ask it, right? It's simple. Give me scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus.
I showed you a picture from NASA.
That's not scientific proof in the slightest. We cannot repeat it. It is not falsifiable. That is not scientific proof. Rumpus, do you understand what the scientific method is?
Absolutely.
Right. Do you understand why a picture from NASA is not in any way following the scientific method and is not a qualified piece of scientific proof?
You don't think that picture is scientific?
I asked you a question. Do you understand the scientific method? The answer was yes. Do you understand why a picture is not scientific proof? It is not something that has followed the scientific method.
But it's evidence, Nathan.
Are you dense?
No, I'm not. You are.
Yeah, you are dense. You clearly are dense. I'm going to ask you for a 49th time. What is your scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus?
Right. Okay, well, I could do it. Hold on. I wish you'd be showing Anthony's non-horizon.
I'll ask for a 50th time while you blather on about the horizon. What is your scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus? It's the 50th time I've asked you. Are we genuinely going to get into double digits? Because we're about halfway there and you've provided nothing.
Subjects, though? Why have you changed subjects from this horizon? I want to know.
Not the horizon. Are you deaf? 51 times I've had to ask you this question. Right, your horizon, in your stupid little world, is based on a presupposition that the horizon's closer, because you have a presupposition that the Earth is a curve. Therefore, I'm asking you to provide scientific proof of that curve. It's very simple, man.
We see it because it's there. That's what...
No, we don't see it, you stupid man. I'm asking you to prove it scientifically. That's what I'm asking for the 52nd time. Where is your scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus?
Right, do you want that to be in a scientific journal, or do you want me to give it...
Why are you asking me about journal? Is a journal something that has followed the scientific method? No. If in that journal they show a demonstration of Earth curvature that has adhered to the scientific method, it will be accepted if you present it.
Right, scientific journals are where science is presented.
No. Scientific journals are not the scientific method. They are not scientific proof of Earth curve. That is specifically what I'm asking for.
Okay, right. But I'm a little bit interested why you've gone off Seventh Horizon, which you're so confident about.
Right, I'm going to ask for what is it now? 53 times I've had to ask this silly man who is either deaf, dumb or stupid for one simple thing. He has a presuppositional argument. And I'm saying I don't accept presupposition. I want scientific proof. So... for the 54th time, 53rd time, how and where and why are you ignoring this, Rumpus? Where is your scientific proof of Earth curvature?
In scientific journals. For the 27th millionth time, it's in some...
Not 27th millionth. Is that a slight exaggeration? Can't you count? Are you really that dense? Is this how exaggerated your numbers get, Rumpus? Don't mess with me. Don't tell me you've told me something the 27th millionth time. It's not even a number. You are stupid, aren't you? Do you understand simple numbers? Don't laugh at me, Rumpus. This is a serious debate where we try and establish whether or not you have any scientific proof of Earth curve. Apparently you've had a couple of thousand years to acquire it.
Why are you getting off the subject of this horizon, Nathan?
The horizon is an assumed horizon on a model, assumed to be closer by you. That assumption is based on Earth being a sphere.
You're saying we don't.
So,
You're saying it's something.
to answer your question, I am not prepared to accept your assumption. I want scientific proof of Earth curvature.
Right, but if I present you with an
right.
argument,
So go and get it.
I'll go. Okay, yeah, but Nathan, the last time I
So
tried to do
go
this,
and get it.
You asked me if I'd published it. You'd asked if George Nathan you could publish it.
I have asked you for... I'm losing track, man. I've asked you so many times. I think I'm on to the 56th time, 55th time of asking this man for a simple thing, which he simply cannot provide. So I'll make a different assertion. You cannot provide scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus. You are incapable of providing scientific proof. If you've had to be asked the question 50 plus times and you still haven't managed to give it me, then I will assert that it does not exist. You do not have scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus.
Do you think you can sense the science, Nathan, by over-talking it? Do you? You said you denied that science, the scientific method, appears and science appears in scientific journals.
So provide it to me now. So if you're saying you have a scientific proof of Earth curvature that appears in a journal, get it now.
Right. So you're prepared to accept something in a scientific journal. Excellent.
No, I will be prepared to accept scientific proof of Earth curvature, regardless of how it is published.
Right, but you didn't. No, you don't. You said George Natayuk wasn't prepared. You weren't prepared to accept an empirical measurement
I tested his standard of whether or not it was in any way scientific, and it wasn't. He was a YouTuber.
If it had been published, so you're only prepared to accept evidence now that's been published.
Scientific proof.
So there's no point in me giving you any
scientific proof is what I am prepared to accept.
Right, but do you?
Not right, but it's simple. I will accept scientific proof of Earth curvature.
Right, George.
You
won't accept it. You won't accept it though from someone who's done an experiment.
Did he follow the scientific method? Did he follow the scientific method?
George Natayuk did, yes.
Right, present it then.
Okay, all right. Here we go. Okay, I can, because I thought initially you liked things that have been done empirically.
Why are you now asking me about what I would like rather than presenting a demonstration of the scientific method being fulfilled by George Natayuk?
Okay, I will. Got it here.
Excellent.
Right. George got a PhD in physics, and
I couldn't care less about his white coat qualifications. Present his scientific proof of Earth curvature.
I think the audience would like to know that he's
no, I don't want to know. I will ask it again. I think we're on 59 times of asking. Rumpus, please can you provide scientific proof of Earth curvature?
I'm sharing that.
Let's have a little look, shall we?
Some scientific proof of the curvature of the Earth. What's more...
Sorry, this is photographs. Where's the null hypothesis?
Sorry?
Where's his literature for review? Where's the null hypothesis?
Oh, well, you want it published. It's not good enough.
Sorry, no. I want scientific proof of Earth curvature, you dumb idiot. This is a photograph of a man putting something into the ground. Are you dense? You said you understood what the scientific method was.
Yeah.
Are you going to retract that? Are you going to retract that?
No, he did understand. So he did have another null hypothesis.
Show me his adherence to the scientific method.
I'm showing it now.
No, you're not. You're showing a photograph of something being put into the ground.
Well...
Not well. Are you retarded? Are you really this stupid? Rumpus, for the 60th time, I want you to provide scientific proof of Earth curvature.
Right,
this is not that.
I'm trying to work out what you want me to show you. If you want me to show you...
I'll ask you for the 61st time. I want you to provide scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus. That is what I am asking you to provide. Why is it that you are incapable of doing so?
If I showed you a paper from NASA, would you accept that?
You've just shown it me, and I've just told you that's not adherence to the scientific method. It's a photograph.
Would you accept a paper from NASA?
Is it adhering to the scientific method? Repeatable, falsifiable, demonstratable as adhering to the scientific method, Rumpus? Yes or no?
Indeed. They have more scientists than anybody else in the world.
Again, I am not interested in how many white coats they have. I am interested in whether or not they have adhered to the scientific method.
Yes.
Show me.
Right, okay, let's go through a NASA paper then, shall we? Okay.
So not George Nathan because it didn't adhere to the scientific
well,
method. Now we're on to
I'm trying to work
NASA.
out what
Let's
you'll
see how
accept,
quick
because you're
this
a science
demonstration
denier.
lasts.
I thought you wouldn't like a scientific journal, but apparently you're now prepared to accept something in the scientific
Perhaps
No,
it would
I'm
help
prepared
if
to
you could tell me what the
accept an
scientific
adherence to
method
the
is.
scientific method. I've made it clear on 64 occasions. What is your proof of the scientific proof of Earth curvature? It's simple.
Right, because I know that scientific journals adhere to the scientific method because it's peer reviewed.
Excellent.
I know
Then you
that
will
it
be able
adheres
to
to the
demonstrate
scientific
it
method.
easily, will you not?
Sorry?
Then you will be able to demonstrate it easily.
Right, but so you want me to prove that the thing I'm about to show you appears to, so you want to go through the method and not the actual results. Okay, so you want me to show you a paper and then go through the method used in the paper. Is that be acceptable to you, would it?
I will ask for a 64th time. I would like scientific proof of Earth curvature.
The whole body of science says so.
The whole body of science is not the scientific method. The whole body of science is the scientific method. Not white coats, not journals, not photographs. That's it. The scientific method is the entire body of science.
They do use photographs in science, you know.
I'm sure they do,
Take
whilst
pictures of
adhering
atoms
to the
and things.
scientific method.
They do, yes, but they use photographs in the scientific method. They say this is visual evidence, which presumably, of course,
So
they're not lying.
provide some for Earth curvature.
Right. So you want but
Not
NASA provides
photographs,
those pictures.
scientific proof.
That is scientific proof. They've taken pictures, and also every other
Scientific
independent space
method
agency has done the
is
same. We've got
scientific.
independent evidence all pointing to the curvature of the Earth, and you're a science denier.
No, I'm not a science denier.
Oh,
I'm
you
asking
are.
you for scientific proof of Earth curvature. So far, you have not provided it.
Okay, so but I'm because you have very particular
It's
requirements.
simple. You provide something, we look at it, and then we decide whether or not it is applicable. So far,
Right, but
not so
I-
good on your part, Rumpus.
Right, but you're not happy that for instance, George has applied the scientific method. You want me to prove it. So in other words, what do you want me to take on a film of him doing it, or the way he's presented his information? Is that how you want me to prove that he's using the scientific method?
Present it however you choose.
Right, well, okay, well, I'm going to present it in terms of photographs that people can easily understand on your Hangout.
So long as it adheres to the scientific method and can be demonstrated as so, I'm happy to see it.
Okay, well, this is what George did last year, and he had a null hypothesis, which was that the Earth was flat. And he was then going to invalidate it by sticking in these poles at various distances and then using a theodolite, this thing here, the auto leveler that I was trying to get Anthony to use. I'm still surprised you want to move on the subject of horizons, but anyway,
Sorry,
I'm happy to talk about horizons.
did he use this auto lever to measure the horizon?
Right, he measured the, well, in fact, you can see here's a picture.
Did he use the auto lever to measure the horizon?
He used the auto leveler to measure the position of his targets.
Not the horizon.
Well, he did that indirectly, but he actually positioned the target so they would be level.
So indirectly, he was using this to measure an apparent horizon.
No, he was not using it to measure an apparent horizon. No. I know you've now decided that things are
In
not
any
what
way,
they are on
was the
horizons we see them and
horizon
they're not what we
referenced
see.
in his measurements?
Sorry?
Was the horizon in any way referenced in his measurements?
No, it wasn't.
It wasn't. Send me the link, please, Rumpus. I'd like to examine this.
Right? Okay. Well, this he's made some videos.
Not
He
right.
hasn't-
Send me the link so I can scrutinise it.
Okay, I can't do that for them at the moment.
Do it now. Find
Okay.
out a way to do it. Send it to me so I can scrutinise this evidence.
Oh, he's got something. Okay, I can find a video for you if you like. He did.
Not a
the
video.
link.
I want to see the adherence to the scientific method. So will that be demonstrated in the video? I think not.
Oh yes, he did. Well, he shows. Well, I think a reasonable. I think any fair-minded
Reasonable?
person would say that he's
Sorry,
a scientist.
are you unclear about what the scientific method is? Answered by you, no. I am perfectly clear with what the scientific method is. Clearly, you are deciding to dance around that little detail.
Not at all. Not at all.
Send me this link.
Okay, well, okay, I'll give you that. Meanwhile, I'm
No,
really
not
surprised you don't want to
meanwhile.
talk
Get
about
on with it. Send me this
Stop
link. This is
obfuscating.
apparently your scientific
not-
proof of Earth curvature. Send it me so I can scrutinise it.
Okay, meanwhile, you can look at some
Not
horizons.
meanwhile.
You can
Chop,
horizons.
Now.
chop.
Now,
Get
Rumpus.
on
See
with
it
it, you
because it's not
stupid
there,
little
I love
man.
it.
Send it me now.
See what
That's
you
your
believe.
proof. Let me scrutinise it. I will scrutinise it at my
Well, I do
leisure.
find it amazing. You're now saying you don't see what's there. What you've seen is no longer what is
I
there.
will
find it
scrutinise
absolutely
what you
hilarious.
have presented as
Everybody
evidence
who's watching this
once
must
you
be
send it to
absolutely
me.
amused by
So,
this.
send it to me.
Okay.
Good.
You have a chat about horizons and apparent horizons and how they're not
No,
where they are, and I'll
you
go
will
and do
send
that.
me this evidence that you claim is scientific proof of Earth curvature. I will rip it a new asshole and then present
Right.
what I have done.
Okay. Meanwhile, you can apologise.
Not
for
meanwhile.
seeing
Chop,
things
chop.
where they
Send
are.
it to me. Chop,
Okay.
chop. Good dog.
I'll let Ruhev take over. What showing you about horizons, perhaps, while I do that.
No,
Oh, you want to wait?
No.
Okay. You want me to wait?
Just want dead air.
I don't
Stop
care. I
spinning
want him to send it
around,
me so I can
Rumpelstiltskin.
scrutinise it at my leisure.
Just
What
deliver
else
the
have you got?
proof. Come on.
Okay, well, I'm
Ruhif,
gonna
do
go
you
and
have any
research.
scientific proof of Earth curvature?
Am I on telly now?
Yeah.
Awesome. All right. Can I actually ask someone bring up the Morgold Lighthouse picture?
Sorry, I just
Please.
asked you the question that Rumpus is now foraging away to send me his proof of. So, do you have any scientific proof of Earth curvature, Ruhif?
I came on to propose an experiment.
Alright, this is a flat Earth debate, and the problem so far with
Yeah.
many of the evidences you have presented here, Ruhif, is that you have a presumption of curvature. Now we're at the point where we want scientific proof of the curvature. Do you have any?
Let's do an experiment. I
No,
came
not
on to
let's do
propose-
an experiment. This isn't something that I want to do moving forward. Apparently, the globe has been in existence and understood for 2,000 years. I would assume that there would be an abundance of scientific proof of this curvature. So I'll ask for a third time,
You-
Ruhif. Do you have any
You
scientific
don't want to do an
proof?
experiment?
No, I don't want to do any experiment. I want you to provide something that in 2,000 years I would assume would be entirely abundant. Scientific proof of Earth curvature.
Yeah, but you don't trust what other people have done, so I'd like you to do an experiment.
I haven't been
yourself.
presented
Or,
with anything so
Anthony.
far. Sorry, what is it that you are claiming I don't trust? So far, Rumpus has avoided sending me his evidence, the only single piece, other than something we debunked yesterday, which was the dip angle. So other than those two things, which we have been presented with and have tested and debunked, other than those things, we have had apparently 2,000 years of globe understanding. So I would assume I don't need to go out and do anything. I can be presented right here, right now, by you with scientific proof which adheres to the scientific method of curvature.
But you don't accept things like photos. You say they're all photoshopped or
Sorry,
fake.
do you not understand what the scientific method is, Ruhif?
I do, but you
Right,
don't trust
is a
other people doing it.
photograph the scientific method?
Can you bring up Morgold Lighthouse?
what
please?
he's
Sorry,
saying-
answer my question, please, Ruhif. Ruhif, is a photograph the scientific method?
Is a photograph the scientific method? Is my bottle of Coke a fucking...
No need to swear
Penis?
just because you're on the ropes. Is
Ah,
a
my apologies,
photograph
actually.
the scientific method? Yes or no?
That's a nonsensical question.
Is it a yes answer or a no answer?
It's a nonsensical question. I came on to talk about an experiment.
Sorry,
If you-
it is not a nonsensical question. It has a simple answer. I will now give that answer. The photograph, any photograph, is not the scientific method. And what I am asking for is scientific proof of Earth curvature.
I came on to propose an experiment. Would you like to hear it?
No. I'll ask it again.
No.
What I would like
That
to
says
do,
everything, Nathan. That
given
says
the
everything.
fact that there has been
Yeah, well done,
2,000 years, Ruhif, of globe understanding, scientific proof should be abundant.
And it is, but you don't accept it.
Yeah.
Then
You don't
present-
accept an answer.
Sorry, I'll say it again. So far, I have not received anything from Rumpus, and we have been told to go to the beach and use a theodolite to acquire a dip angle, which, according to Rumpus, proves the Earth's sphericity. It doesn't, because we have an apparent horizon. Now we have a George Netanyahu, something recent, on YouTube. Again, I dispute that it will adhere to the scientific method. We will see. We will challenge George once we have seen his information. Now, what I am saying is, without any necessity to go out and do anything, there should be scientific proof after 2,000 years of globe understanding of Earth curvature. And I would like you to show it me. What have you got? What have you already got?
Scientific institutions. And you can do an experiment as
So I'll say it again. I do not want to go out and do an experiment when there has been 2,000 years of apparent globe understanding. If we are to understand that the picture on screen now is true, I want scientific proof of it. Verifiable, repeatable. It's not that difficult. If it's been in existence for 2,000 years and we all understand it, it should be unequivocally, easily, demonstrably provable with science following the scientific method. You've had 2,000 years. Nathan, I would like to see what you've got to date.
Nathan, can I just say, Nathan, the Rumpus is doubling down with the theodolite claim. He's just said in the background, you can do it yourself with a theodolite, and Ruhif has agreed. Yeah. Let's discuss that.
Yes, let's go to the horizon. Yes, fantastic. Yes, something solid to talk about.
Something solid. I don't want to get off this, Anthony. We've already debunked the dip angle. If these two want to double down on it, that's tough luck. If you think
you've done that, you're insane.
Yeah, well, tough luck. We've proved there's an apparent horizon. You conceded it yesterday, Rumpus. Don't need to laugh about it. We proved it yesterday, and you conceded it. And you conceded it.
Your memory is very bad, isn't it?
Yeah, his memory's terrible. So, as I have asserted to both you and Ruhif, both you and Ruhif have been asked. So I'll ask it again to both of you. Where is your scientific proof, given that you have had 2,000 years of globe understanding of Earth curvature?
The whole of science.
The whole body of science is not anything more than the scientific method. That is what the entire body of science is. So what I am asking for is you to present the entire body of science, because the entire body of science is the scientific method. That is what I am asking for.
I've got a paper here for that actually as well. If you want to go through a published thing, I've got a paper that does this as well, which talks about the seismic analysis of the Earth, which shows due to the density of the Earth changing, it actually proves that the Earth is spherical. It's a bit technical.
What was the null hypothesis?
The null hypothesis is that we do not have a spherical Earth, and we're just probing the density of the Earth, and we find it's in a spherical shape.
So do you want to send me that as well? And I'll have a look.
I'll do that. Okay,
Excellent.
You carry on talking to Ruhif while I pick that out. What's your experiment, by the way, Ruhif? Explain your experiment, because this dip angle.
No. Just point it out. Because you keep on telling us that you have these things and then you don't actually deliver.
Yes, but Erwin, you don't understand.
You haven't delivered on so many things that you said you have.
Right.
Why don't you actually just shut up for a moment, get your damn proof, and then present it and stop talking?
The whole body of science says this.
The whole body of science, I will say it again, the whole body of science is the scientific method. That is the whole body of science.
Well, no, you've missed. You're not using English correctly there. It uses the scientific method. It's not the scientific method.
Wrong. The scientific method, fact, is the whole body of science. End statement.
It uses the scientific method, Nathan. You're getting your nouns and verbs and things mixed up.
Fact. The entire body of science is the scientific method. That incorporates the entire body of science.
Well done. You got it right at last. Well done.
Rumpus, your pedantic nature doesn't impress me one bit.
I'm very particular.
I have asked you to provide scientific proof of the Earth curve, and this is what you do.
Well, I'm trying to
play pedantic games. That's all you do, because you've got nothing. Now, Arwen has just said to you, present it. Let's see what you've got. Let's not obfuscate for the next hour. Present it. You've been asked something like 65 times for scientific proof of Earth curvature. You've got nothing. Apparently, we've had 2,000 years of understanding here. Scientific proof should be abundant, and all you do, and all you've done for the last 2 days, is obfuscate the point and not provide anything.
Deliver, Rumpus.
The Isle of Man pictures are proof.
Sorry, I'll ask Rumpus this question like I just asked Ruhif. Is a photograph the scientific method?
No, as Ruhif said, that's not even English.
No, you seem to stutter when you get these difficult questions. Like Rumpus said it was, like Ruhif said it was a nonsensical question.
Such a stupid question. I'm amazed how stupid you are, and I have to use.
Yeah, I will ask it again.
So you understand?
Is a photograph the scientific method?
Pictures are proof. The Isle of Man pictures are proof. Because it
Is
only works on a spherical Earth, on a flat Earth.
the scientific method?
They felt it's in the wrong position for a flat Earth. It's only the right position for a spherical Earth.
No, it
That's
is not.
proof.
No,
why
it's
do you
not,
keep inserting
you
this
dumbass.
assertion?
There's
You
no
wouldn't know
cumulative
geometry.
drop in the
You're an
distance.
idiot. You
There's
don't
no
even know what
land in a
geometry.
straight line
You don't
from
even know
there
what a
on,
triangle
proving a
is.
flat Earth, you
You don't know what
freaking
a
idiot.
sine function is. You don't know anything about geometry. You're not qualified to say anything about it.
Sorry, this is not Rumpus showing his scientific proof of Earth curvature. So every time Rumpus does this, I'll pop the Hangout on mute and point out to the audience that so far Rumpus hasn't presented anything. He hasn't presented any scientific proof of Earth curvature.
So I missed that, Nathan.
Yeah, you haven't presented any proof of Earth curvature.
Sorry,
None of
okay,
it is
yeah, I'll be
scientific in
distracted by
nature. Photographs are not the scientific
Do it
method.
now, Rumpus.
We've gone through all this.
Right, but you see, but science.
Do it now,
takes pictures.
Rumpus.
Science takes pictures.
Stop
Nathan.
talking and bring the damn
Science-
proof, Rumpus.
Science takes pictures.
Sorry, calm down, Owen.
Science.
I actually agree with Arwin Ruhif. We've had, you've been asked the question about 4 times. Rumpus has been asked it 65 times. Why shouldn't he get annoyed with him? He's perfectly entitled to get annoyed. It's annoying. We've asked him on multiple occasions for his scientific proof of Earth curvature. You want to get us to do experiments going forward, and he has nothing. He doesn't
But you
have
don't
scientific
accept
proof of
science.
Earth
That's the
curve.
reason
That's the
we're having
problem.
problems.
And I am going to continually hold his toes to the fire. Continually. Every time he's on the show, he will be asked this question, and all I will do is continually point out to the audience that he's obfuscating the question and hasn't provided any scientific proof of Earth curvature. Every time he comes on, will be the standard fare.
Right, but we've got pictures. NASA.
Sorry, let's just say it again. Pictures are not the scientific method.
Here we go. I've got the link now. Here's a link.
How about can I calm things down? Can you share my screen, please, Nathan?
Depends. What are you sharing?
There's a paper, Nathan, for you to get through, which demonstrates that the Earth has a spherical seismic nature.
Was it scientific proof of Earth curvature?
I mean, it's science, so you'll reject it, no doubt, or you won't understand it. One of the two.
We'll have a little look at it. Thank you for sharing it with us, Rumpus. We'll have a little look at it.
Great. Thank you, Nathan. Thank you very much. Let's go for Ruhif's experiment. Oh, I'd like to talk about the horizon. But the fact.
Hang on a second. I've spotted a problem with your cited paper.
That took a long time, Rumpus. Wow.
It doesn't appear to have been verified or validated by anybody. It appears to be subjective and on one example of. There doesn't appear to be anybody that's done the same work twice and got the same results and got the same conclusions.
Well, it appears in a geophysics journal.
Oh, right. So we're back to this.
Right.
It's in a journal.
So therefore,
Sorry, let's just point out for the audience again. Journals are not the scientific method.
You don't understand English. Journal is a noun and a method is a process.
Yes, exactly, Rumpus. That's exactly my point, you dumbass. Precisely. Exactly. Right, one's a method, one's a book. Right. One is not the same as the other, correct? So when I ask for scientific proof of something, saying I've got a book doesn't mean it's followed the scientific method. It means nothing.
It's in a scientific
Same
journal.
as when you say, man in white coat says. Well, there's lots of men in white coat that say. There's a consensus opinion on this.
Of course it does.
Consensus opinion is not scientific. Consensus opinion is not the scientific method. Journals are not the scientific method. Coats, white coats, aren't the scientific method. Photos are not the scientific method. So far, nothing that Rumpus has provided
Anthony, where do you think
all qualifies as having
Nathan,
followed the scientific method to prove Earth curvature.
Anthony, where do you
he
think
has
scientists publish?
unequivocally failed.
Where do scientists publish their work? Please tell me where scientists publish their work.
Sorry, Rumpus. Asking me where scientists publish their work, I have already said. I don't care where it's published. All I am interested in is scientific proof of Earth curvature, regardless of where it is published.
Where do you think science is published?
It's not about
I've
the
just said this.
science.
It doesn't matter. I am interested in scientific proof of Earth curvature and couldn't give a damn where it's published. If your YouTuber had scientific proof of Earth curvature, I would accept it. That is why you have been able to demonstrate it and show it. I don't care where it's published. Right. You care because you care about journals and men in white coats and appeals to authority. That's what you care about.
They have to be independently verified if they're
Is this peer reviewed?
Well, it appears in the Geophysics Journal.
But has
So
it been
is it
peer
peer-reviewed
reviewed?
then?
Yes, it wouldn't appear. The journal wouldn't accept it if it wasn't peer reviewed.
No,
this is
it
just
needs
one
to
of
be
many.
published for it to be peer reviewed, right?
Sorry.
It needs to be published first to be peer reviewed. It doesn't get peer
No.
reviewed
Things
before
get peer reviewed before they get published. You don't understand how this works. You propose a paper to a journal. They then peer review it. They send it off to other people to make sure there's nothing stupid because the journal wants to maintain its reputation. Then when it's been approved, it then goes into the journal. So it's been peer reviewed before it goes into journal. And of course, obviously afterwards, then other people comment on that paper, write papers about that paper, and if they can invalidate it, they will. So the point about putting it in a journal is it gets peer reviewed before entry and it gets peer reviewed after entry, and that's where scientists publish their work. So when someone
that's
says,
odd because
where's
the
the
journal does not give any sources, and I thought that
yeah,
peer
there was a
reviewing
section-
pretty much
yeah, I must admit, this
requires
is a section
the
out
sources
of the.
to be
Yeah, I must
mentioned.
admit, this
Doesn't
particular
mention
one
any
doesn't have
sources.
the stuff on the end actually. Yeah,
No, it
okay.
doesn't mention any sources.
Yeah, it's because it goes on. Yeah, I must admit, it's a section.
Yeah.
It's a section of
Yeah.
the thing.
No, it doesn't mention any sources.
Yeah, it's actually.
There is one. There is one. It's at the bottom of page 4, but that's the only one I found.
Yeah, I must admit, I haven't
Ooh.
prepared a paper because I know that Nathan's a scientist.
Sorry,
No.
are you just saying that you haven't prepared a paper in spite of, before this show airing, you being asked 43 times for scientific proof of Earth curvature? You were still incapable of actually finding one and preparing them in advance, and now you're claiming that you have produced this on the fly. Is that what you're
You
saying?
reject science, yes. You reject science, though, Nathan.
No, I don't reject science.
You do.
Sorry.
You don't understand geometry.
Scientism.
We haven't. I haven't looked at this at the moment. I'm running show Rumpus, so you're
Yeah, well, I'm
claiming
trying
I
to
reject
engage in
science.
the debate as
You've
well.
sent us something for scrutiny. I haven't yet scrutinised it, and you're claiming I've rejected it.
Okay, well, you will do, I suspect, because you don't understand science.
No,
understand
we
it,
will
that's
look
for
at
sure.
it.
No,
You won't
it's a
understand.
scientific method. We understand perfectly, Rumpus.
You don't understand anything about science there when you're an airhead. You don't even understand geometry.
Yeah, we do.
Go on then. Oh, right, you understand geometry. Okay, then tell us about trigonometry. Tell us what trigonometry
Sorry.
is.
No.
Trigonometry is the science of comparing angles and then determining distance or size based on
Wrong,
distance or
completely wrong.
size
It does not
using
about
certain
comparing
calculating systems.
No, you got that completely wrong.
No, that's exactly how it works.
Go on, okay, if I were to give you a triangle, then, Erwin, would you be able to work out what the sides were if I gave you the angle on one side? Do you think you could do that?
Sokotoa.
I think so.
No, you couldn't, because you didn't even know what trigonometry was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, but I learned it in the meantime.
You've learned. Okay.
Yeah, I learned.
Okay,
I learned through overexposure of people talking about it.
Yeah. No, you don't learn things by just people talking about it.
Oh no, you don't.
No,
So that's not how schools actually work. You don't
you have to do
learn about it
tests and
through the
things.
teacher explaining you how it works and you reading about it. Doesn't work that way. That's not
But you
how
haven't been
learning
tested
works.
on it.
It's very interesting, Rumpus.
You don't understand. You couldn't pass a test in trigonometry to save your life.
I could.
No, you couldn't. Okay. I'll give you a little test then. I'll give you a triangle, and you tell me.
Let's not do this. Let's talk about.
Oh, that's a pity. Oh, come on, Mark Anthony. Let Erwin have a
constructive. Let's not attack Arwin here. The attack is meant to be on the evidence cited by the
Oh, I
that
so want
conforms
to
to the
see Erwin
scientific
succeed at
method.
showing me the sides of a triangle. Oh, you're a spore spot, Anthony.
Come on, let's have a conversation.
Okay, let's do that.
All right.
Because
Let's propose an experiment.
Yes. I've talked
Okay.
enough. Well, I mean, I'd love to talk about your horizon, Anthony. and about
I'm
the fact
looking
that
at your
you've used
paper and
non-horizon
it seems
horizon.
very speculative about the.
Come on, Anthony. Let's talk about your
curve-based
non-horizon
system.
horizon.
I would
There
love to
seems
talk
be
about
any
the
type of
I
curve
would
even
love to too, but
displayed
apparently Erwin doesn't
at
want to let us talk.
page 6. And the rest seems pretty much devoid of any
geophysics, yeah.
real curvature. It's all just
Let's
depth
talk about
measurements,
horizons.
and
I
that's
love
very
talking about
relevant
horizons.
information, but I don't really
You won't
even
understand
see
it.
how
Erwin, you don't even
where the
understand
globe
trigonometry.
geometry actually
has an-
comes in, except for that
it has
one
a square
picture
root
that
sign in it. You won't
suggests that
understand
it's a
that.
globe somehow. So seems
I wanna talk
completely
about
devoid
horizons,
of proof
Anthony.
that it is actually globe-based. Really,
I want to talk
It's
about
just
horizons.
speculative.
If Ruhif is happy, unless Ruhif wants to go along with his experiment as well, because I think I'm keeping Ruhif out of this conversation. I'd like to hear what his experiment is proposed. But I'd love to talk about horizons with Anthony and show how he's now claiming that horizons are not what you see, and seeing what you're there
All right.
is not what
Yeah,
you
He
see.
yeah,
conceded it. He
listen,
conceded that
That's
yesterday,
fantastic.
Rumpus.
That's
Refraction
absolutely
zone,
fantastic. Refraction
slant
zone.
down,
Oh, slants.
vanishing
Oh my God,
zone.
you
It's
mentioned the
all
word
basic
slant. Can everybody hear
optics.
that?
You
You
don't
mentioned the word
actually
slant,
get to
man.
see the real horizon. You just
Word
get to see
slant,
the first
people.
horizon, and
Remember
beyond that,
It's not this
the
slant
real
thing.
horizon is
Oh my-
disappeared
Oh
because
God! This is someone who doesn't
bend
understand
down because
trigonometry
light
and who
bends
thinks he can
up
talk
and
about the
just
geometry of the
doesn't
horizon.
appear in its place because of optics. That's how optics work.
Because of optics.
Yes, optics.
Okay.
How light works.
Okay, Owen, what causes
Yeah.
refraction? What causes refraction?
Basically, the lensing effect of
No,
air
but what is
density.
it about light? What happens to light that causes it to bend?
Uh,
Come on, you can do
that
it.
is it's like a prismatic effect. It's just
Yeah,
what light does.
Yeah, but why do
It
prisms
gets
work? What
bent.
do prisms do? What do prisms do to make the light bend? Come on. So you understand this? You say understand optics. Tell us, how do prisms work? What causes the light to bend in a prism?
I don't know. I just know
You
how
don't
it
know.
works.
You don't know. You see,
Do you
understand
know?
optics, and you don't
Well,
even
tell
know
me,
the
Rumpus,
most
how does it
basic-
work
The
then?
most basic thing you learn
Oh,
about.
it's so basic. Well, then why didn't you explain it?
I will. But the thing is that
No,
Owen,
don't do it.
A 12-year-old
Don't talk about it
knows
anymore.
this.
Actually
A
do it.
12-year-old
You always
knows
talk
this,
about things you never
Owen.
actually do it.
I will.
Oh, yeah, you will. You will. All
I will.
those
But
promises.
First of all, I want to point out that
Hundreds of
12-year-olds
thousands of
understand
promises, and
this.
you never
12-year-olds
deliver.
understand.
Oh, you got all that proof, but you don't ever bring it. You just obfuscate some more. You just keep on talking, rambling, spinning some more.
12-year-olds. I'll explain it now. Right, what 12-year-olds are taught at school is that refraction is caused by the change in the velocity of light in different mediums. And Owen didn't know that because he doesn't know anything about optics at all, about anything
That's
at all.
basically describing it using more complicated words. It just says
you never mentioned the change of velocity. It's absolutely
velocity,
fundamental.
it changes the speed of the light.
Shut up! You
Is that-
sound like bitches.
is that it?
Behave. Can we have a conversation?
Yes, let's do that, Anthony.
Thank you, Anthony.
We're not getting anywhere at the minute. This is kind of like a shit show, and it's not really worth talking at the minute. Let's have a conversation about something that's useful.
Yes, there's something specific we can actually talk about. Yes.
Can we go back to the horizon and then?
Yeah,
make the
lovely.
experiment?
But we haven't let Roo. I think Roo. If I'd like to hear what Roo's before we go to that. Well, I'd like to talk about Horizon. But I feel like I'm going. Well, I want to let Roo have his go before he gets kicked out or something.
He won't get kicked out. The link's not public at the minute.
Okay. Well, let's.
Oh no, I swore once. Sorry.
Roo, if you mind, you talk about Horizons briefly before we go to your experiment, if we can.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that
Off
okay?
you go. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Let's talk about Horizons then, Anthony, because that isn't one.
What's your
That
problem
is
with
not
this?
a horizon. Right. The problem, Anthony, is that could be a wiggling piece of physical topography. There's nothing about that guaranteed.
Is that a scientific phrase?
No,
A wiggling piece of topography?
Yeah, hold on, Anthony. Stop interrupting me. I'm explaining. You have presented us with a picture of some land. We've no idea whether that follows the curvature of the Earth. We've no idea whether that
Well, it
constitutes
has
a
to if
horizon.
you live on a ball.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It could be a hill. You don't understand, Anthony. You've because you don't because you don't take.
I love
hold on,
that
Anthony, let
stutter.
me finish.
Yeah,
Robert, is
regardless
this
of
being
where
from
he
the
is,
bus?
the Earth is falling away from him
It could
in
be-
every
it could be
direction
a
if
hill.
you live on a sphere.
It could
That
be-
is a
you've
fact,
no
Rumpus.
idea. With water, you know you've got it's following the curvature of the Earth. You don't know this is following the curvature, so it's absolutely irrelevant to any point you ever make.
Rumpus, is this sand or grass?
It could be a wiggling around. We don't know. It does not be
or
following
is
the
it
curvature.
grass?
It could be sloping left to right. We don't know.
So you're not
That's
sure
why
what
you use
this-
water.
You're
Anthony,
not sure what
you-
this substance
We know
Anthony,
what
do
it
you
is.
understand why we use water for the horizon?
Yeah, we
So
went through
where
this
are
yesterday.
turbines, Rumpus?
Oh well, I can't. Oh, you're. I can't. Let's make a picture of that.
He doesn't know what the picture is of. This is brilliant.
Right, but we can't see the horizon. This could be
You can't see the
a
horizon.
mound. We don't know.
Sorry,
this
Rumpus,
is why
can I
we
just
see
point
the
something out
horizon.
to you,
This is why we
Rumpus?
use water.
Sorry,
then we know it's following
Rumpus.
the curve.
Sorry,
Oh,
sorry,
yeah.
Rumpus. Can I just
Then
point
it
something
does
out
work.
to you without
This
you
could be.
interrupting?
Beaches aren't
Rumpus.
flat.
So there's
Anthony.
only curvature on water,
Beaches
is not
don't
on
follow
land?
the
All right,
curve of the
Rumpus.
Earth. Yes, hooray, water. Excellent. Well done. We've got a picture of water now. Brilliant.
Well, now we did
So
have
now
this
you
conversation
get
Yay.
it
yesterday.
because it's
Now we've got
water.
horizon. Now
That
we've
was
got
the
horizon.
picture you deduced
Right,
your
There's
horizon
no
from.
curvature on land, only on water, right,
We've got
Rumpus?
Sorry, I
water
just
here
want
which
to. I want to
follows
point
the
this out. I'm
curve
going to
of
get
the
it in,
Earth.
whether or not
Yeah.
you like it. I don't care. So essentially, the picture that Rumpus used yesterday was extracted from the same set of images taken from the same place by Ranty. He just zoomed in more, so it was over water when he put in his deduced horizon to calculate the angle dip. So in that instance, all he's done is zoomed out and captured people on the beach. It's the same place as Rumpus used, with the same wind turbines in the background. They're in this picture right now. So I don't really understand why you're saying above water, because you've used the same imagery, Rumpus, to deduce a dip angle, literally from the
What
same
pictures?
exact location.
So you're claiming all beaches follow the curve of the Earth, are you? Is that what you're claiming?
No. We
Good,
don't think
excellent.
there
So
is a
we
curve
can
of the
ignore
Earth,
then, can't
Rumpus.
we? If you're
Rumpus.
not
No, Rumpus. We don't assume a curve of the Earth. I hate it when people level their bullshit at our doorstep.
Water
You
follows the
assume
earth.
you
Land
assume
does
that the
not.
Earth falls away from you because you live on a sphere. That's an assumption by you.
No,
An
it's
assumption
evidenced by
because
the,
you don't have any
sunlight.
scientific proof of it. So no, we don't assume that the Earth on the beach curves away from us
Your
in
slight
any
estimate
way,
will
shape
prove
or
it.
form. Please don't interrupt me. We don't assume that, Rumpus. You assume it because you're a moron. You don't have any scientific proof of this. You just assume it. Well, when you assume something, it makes an ass of you and me. You can assume that the beach is curving. We do not. That's your
No,
bullshit.
I'm not making any assumptions at all.
Yeah, you assume, I'll say it again. You assume the Earth is a sphere. Yes, you do assume. It wouldn't be an assumption if you provided scientific proof of it. You don't have any.
Rantis pictures are scientific proof.
Yeah, I'll go through this again. I think it's the 4th time. Pictures are not the scientific method. They're two different things. So when you say I've got scientific proof and you show a picture, it doesn't mean you have scientific proof. It
Not
means you
English,
have
what
a
you just
picture. They're two very different things. So I'll assert it one more time. They have no proof of Earth curve. Therefore, it is an assumption of Earth
Anthony's
curve.
sharing proof.
Yeah, you assume it's curved. We do
Anthony's
not.
sharing proof.
So just to
here.
round this point out, what Rumpus has done is say, you assume that the beach is curving away from you. No, that's their assumption. They, the
Anthony's
globe
sharing
heads
proof
that are moronic and assume they live on a curve, they assume they live on
Anthony's
a curve
sharing proof
because they
here.
have no scientific proof of curve. Therefore,
Anthony's
it
showing not
is,
scientific-
by definition, an assumption.
Anthony's showing proof.
Yeah, this is not scientific proof of Earth
It is because
curvature.
it's missing all the portion we would expect to see on a spherical Earth. All the
No.
land that's missing, like
You have just assumed, based on your maths, that assumes there is a curve. So no, Rumpus. Again, it is a presumption of curve that you are proving with a presupposition.
Hey, what you
That
see,
is
Nathan.
not tolerated here.
say what you see.
Yeah,
what you
Rumpus,
see.
how many times
Say
have I got to
what you
say
see.
it? You don't get to assume that it's a curve and then
Say what
work
you
your way
see.
around it with your maths. That's
Say what
not
you
what you
see.
do here. Here,
I'm seeing an
you
island
provide
Yes,
us
and it's
something
got
that
tortoises.
qualifies
Ram's
as
is not
scientific
there.
proof. If you don't provide us with something that qualifies as scientific proof, we reject your assumption. So you have an assumption that the beach curves away from you. You assume it, we do not. We are asking for you to prove it scientifically.
I'll tell you
You've
what, I
had
want you to
2,000
minute.
years,
Shut
mate.
Shut up, you chipmunk!
Okay, I will stop talking. I will stop talking if Nathan allows me to respond. I will let him say what he likes for a minute, and then if I'm allowed a minute in response, that's fine.
No problem at all. Please can you provide your scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus?
Right. I regard this picture that Anthony is sharing.
I will say this again. A picture is not scientific proof. It is not adhering to the scientific method. It is simply a picture. So, please can you provide your scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus?
Pictures
Can
appear
pictures
in
be used in scientific proof?
Pictures appear in scientific journals as evidence of.
Scientific journals are not the scientific method. The scientific method is the scientific method. So I would like scientific proof which adheres to the scientific method of Earth
Journals-
curvature.
Journals do.
Nathan, can we use photos to prove anything?
Yeah.
If they are
Yeah.
adhering
If
to
you
the
have a
scientific
proper
method,
scientific method.
then yes.
Right. Do you guys use the proper scientific method in your photos?
No.
Yeah, we use actual refraction science of how optics work on a flat plane, according to how we discovered it, and it
No,
works out
pictures
pretty
aren't
well.
scientific
As
methods.
things
Use
do not
mathematics
drop
to prove it.
cumulatively down into the distance and just
Where's
keep
Ramsey
on
gone, Owen?
going in a straight line after that first slant, and that's actually
First
how it
slant.
works. And it's
What do you mean
very
by this
consistent
slant
with
thing? It's
all
something
the
you've made up.
pictures we've taken, all of the observations. It
Fairy,
always,
fairy story. Slant. I can't
fits.
believe this slant thing.
yeah, it is. It is slanting.
You don't understand what a triangle is. You don't understand what refraction is. You don't know what optics is. And you talk about this slant thing you've invented. It's absolutely hilarious.
No, that's based on the observation.
You you can't.
Yeah, it's so funny to you. It's
Well,
all,
it is 'cause you're
everything
such
is
an
so
idiot.
funny, and nobody
educational
understands
level of a
anything but you. But
12-year-old.
you can't actually bring any proof.
You have
Just
the
keep on
educational level of a
rambling,
12-year-old.
rambling, rambling, telling that you're going to do something, then you don't do it, and then you keep on rambling.
You think science is rambling. You're confused by science.
Tell them what you're going to do, and don't do it.
You're confused by science. You don't understand science. You can't comment on it. You don't understand.
Rumpelstiltskin, you're very good at spinning
You've got a 12-year-old understanding of science.
You don't bring any proof. You never bring.
Did you pass any science exams, Erwin? Did you pass any exams in science?
I'm going to call him Barwin.
Did you pass any exams in science, Erwin? Even at the 13,
physics.
even of any age?
I had physics in school.
You did physics.
Well.
Did you pass the physics exam?
Yeah.
You did.
You don't need any qualifications to adhere to the scientific method.
Sorry?
You don't need any qualifications to adhere to the scientific method.
True.
Yeah, but even despite that, I did pass my science exam.
Well, you couldn't have done it in optics because you didn't understand what causes refraction.
Oh, yeah, of course. Well, I'll leave that to my actual teacher that actually went through my work to determine if I
claim to know about optics. You don't know the most basic thing about optics. You're an idiot.
Yeah, but I just been explaining it to you, and you just refuse it. You refuse it every time, and you
did not understand.
You never address that things in the distance don't drop in a cumulative rate.
Okay.
With a curvature.
Okay, what's the question?
Goes on in a straight line after the first slant. It's caused by refraction, bending the light up. And after that, it goes on in a straight line. And you never address this. You never ever do.
I'll address it.
Never addressed it once, not a single time.
I will.
Yeah, you will. Oh, yeah, more promises.
Answer the question.
Great. More promises that you will, but you don't. You don't. You never do. You never do. You haven't ever.
I always do.
You never do.
I always do.
You always say you do, and you never do.
Come on, ask me the question then.
Well, provide some actual proof.
Oh, that's your question.
Cumulative drop in the distance of objects dropping down at a cumulative rate, proving an actual round curve instead of just a slant straight line of sight from there on.
Right. Owen, are you aware that the mountain Snaefell is taller than the mountain North Barrule? Yet in the images we see,
these are in clouds.
Is higher.
Both of these mountains are in clouds.
Both
of these mountains are shrouded by cloud.
It's slanting
down.
In
the composite, but if you get other pictures, they are in fact, you can see that North Barrule is higher.
Right, provide them and we'll stick them in the model. Sorry, just provide those photos and we have a model. We can insert them.
Okay, I'll just go and, let me go and do that.
So I've said we can do this. I assume you've already done this, Rumpus.
Yes, hold on. I'm just getting to it. Let me go on. Right. My screen sharing.
You will be in a second. Sorry. Yeah, you are.
Okay, right. Here is a picture of the Isle of Man taken by a professional photographer. And as you can see here, this is I don't quite know where this was taken from, unfortunately. Right, now if I draw a line here, and of course this conflicts with Chris Monk's model, of course, and you can see that North Barrule is actually higher than Snaefell, yet Snaefell is the higher mountain. It's much higher. And in Chris Monk's model, of course, he has Snaefell well above North Barrule, well above it, which is completely wrong. It conflicts with this picture. So Chris Monk's model is invalid.
I can't actually see this picture. I don't have the options to, the icons at the bottom. It says Oakley code presented, so I don't know whether it's because he's got something different on the screen, but I can't click your icon to see what you're showing.
Okay, well, is it going out can other people see it? Can the stream see it?
Page.
No, we can see it. It's pretty blurred.
Yeah, well, it's a long way away, isn't it? So, but you can see here.
Well, that's really funny because it's still really blurred. Then eventually you won't be able to see what's beyond there. When it's actually really clear, then you will.
I agree. It's clear enough.
And we've proven that.
This conflicts with Chris Monk's model. This Chris Monk's model has Snaefell, which is the thing on the left. This is you can see my pointer. I'll do a big arrow just in case you can't see it. That is Snaefell there on the left-hand side. And that conflicts.
Just a quick question.
Model because,
so,
of course,
one of these mountains is closer than the other, correct?
Correct. The one on the right is closer, and the one in the distance, Snaefell, is much further away. But it's also much taller.
Right. So it's further away and taller.
Yes, and the curve of the Earth counts where it is.
So you are showing the effects of perspective.
Chris Monk's model has Snaefell.
You've just ignored what I just stated. you are demonstrating the effects of perspective.
No, I'm not, because...
Yes, you are. Things in the distance get smaller. Fairly simple. Fairly simple to extrapolate logically.
Chris Monk's model accounted for perspective, and it had Snaefell as above North Brawl, well above it.
Is it the
So
same
his model
picture?
is
Have we
wrong.
modelled it
The
yet?
flat Earth model
Sorry,
has been
I've
invalidated
already
by
said
this picture.
we'll stick it in the model and see what happens.
Well, he did. He put Snaefell, and
Sorry,
he got
this is
Snaefell
not the
above
picture
North Brawl.
used by Chris. Stop stealing
Sorry?
them. Those aren't yours. No, you can't just have them. You can't just take them. You can't just steal them from where I've hidden
Right.
them.
So Chris
There you
Monk
go,
created
you
a
can
flat
have one.
Earth model of this, and in his flat
Sorry,
Earth
this is
model,
not
which accounted
the
for
model.
perspective,
This is not the picture used in
Snaefell
Chris
was
Monk's
much
model.
bigger than
What? You've
North
got
Brawl.
one now.
So the flat Earth model has been invalidated by this picture. Flat Earth model invalidated.
Maybe you want two.
Spherical
Do
Earth
you want two?
confirmed by this one picture and
There you
Chris
go, you
Monk's
can have
attempt
two.
to model it in a flat Earth because he failed.
How far away is this first mountain? How far away is the coast from the photograph?
Okay, I'll go and get that info for you, Erwin. The point is, Chris Monk's model failed with this.
Can we have some information, perhaps?
Okay,
Hang on,
okay.
Roberts, can you present what Chris did show on the model so that we can see it? Because I don't want to take your word for it. that Chris
Okay,
showed
all right.
something.
Let me see if I can-
I'm
got
just
that.
wondering why not more of the mountain is obscured behind the curve, really. 'Cause
Okay,
I
let me
think
get-
this is pretty far away,
It's-
so
it's-
we
I
should
grabbed
barely
it
see
from-
any of it, really.
I grabbed it from his presentation, but yes, I need to get a few seconds to go and find out where I put that. Give me a moment. Sorry, what was your point, Owen?
Well,
You said
If it's-
something?
if
While I'm
it is pretty far in the distance, I think.
What's that got to do with anything?
Well, it should be a lot more behind the curvature then.
Yeah, that's why it's dropped. Snaefell is a lot taller. Yeah, it's down. It's lower because
No,
of
I'm
the
not
curve.
talking about one mountain in relation to the other. I'm talking about the entire thing.
No, it's exactly right.
Oh,
The-
it's exactly right.
Exactly right. I mean, I've done the maths on it. The image is exactly right for the spherical Earth model, and it invalidates the flat Earth model.
Really?
Yes, because
Right.
you see, unlike as I was trying to show to you yesterday with the pixels, I can work out how much of that mountain we can see by measuring the number of pixels and the resolution of this picture, and I can say exactly how much of the mountain, how much is hidden. So, for instance, I know that the mountain is the bottom of the mountain. See that is around here somewhere, as I remember. That's where the base of the Snaefell is the hidden value. So it might even be down here. I could
So
go.
how high up is this photograph taken? Because
I don't know that.
believe
Well,
this
but
is
we
at
could use,
eye level.
or you could use Anthony's.
It doesn't look really at eye level at all.
Sorry, you just said you don't know how high it is.
No, I didn't. I didn't say. I didn't know how high the observer point was.
Well, that's what I'm asking. That's what Arwen specifically asked you. How high was this photograph taken from?
And
Answer,
I don't know.
I
the answer
don't
to the
know.
question.
Well, then you don't have
So
any.
you don't know how
proof
much is
at
missing?
all because
You
you
don't
don't
know
have
anything?
any actual reference point.
It does. Well, it should
you
not.
don't know the
you
height,
don't have
then
any
how can you
reference point.
calculate
Why are you
all
trying to
that
claim
curvature?
where it's supposed to be hidden if you don't know how high the observer is?
I'm telling you because I know what the height tends to be. Okay, I'll do on the composite. No,
Tends
I'll
to
do it on
be?
the composite. Okay, I'll
Tends
do it
to
on the
be.
image that Anthony
Sorry,
did.
let's ask the question again. Scientific proof of Earth curvature. This is not. This is garbage. This is total garbage.
Right. If you want the exact position of how much hidden is, I can do that on Anthony's video picture, the composite. Okay.
How
This is
can
the
you
picture you're using, you
calculate
moron.
that it fits
What
your
part of this
model
don't you understand, you
exactly
moron?
Without actually knowing the observer height,
I
right?
What a
do,
moron.
because I'm going to use the composite at Irwin, which I do know. The observer height.
now
No,
you
the
do.
composite
So
isn't
what
this
is it?
picture,
No,
you
for a
moron.
different-
What
then
part of
listen
that
to
don't
what
you
I said,
understand,
Erwin.
you
Listen to
stupid
what I said.
man?
For the composite that Anthony took, I do know.
Yeah,
the
this is
observer
not the
height, therefore I
composite
can
Anthony
work out
took,
where
you
the hidden
stupid little man.
What was that, Nathan? What was that intelligent point?
It's not the composite that Anthony used. It's a totally different picture. So assuming a height from Anthony's composite is ludicrous.
I'm not going it for that. I'm going to do it on the composite, if you like.
No, you've just done it on a different picture. Why are you now going to
yes,
Anthony's
that's
and
why I
claiming
said
that you are going to
approximately.
do it with a height that you
Okay,
know
now
when
I'll
you've
do
just done it with a
exactly-
height that you don't know, you disingenuous little man?
You're
It's not funny. You're just a lying piece of crap. Why are you even here, you lying piece of crap?
How am I lying? I'm showing you pictures.
You don't know anything about what should and shouldn't be obscured if you don't know the height of the observer. That's what Irwin... Oh, why am I calling him Irwin? His name's Arwin. Why you keep saying Irwin, I don't know. But Arwin's just pointed this out to you. And now you're going to a different photograph and saying, I do know the height. He's just pointed out that you don't know the height of your observation. So this
do for
observation in terms of Earth's
I do
sphericity
for
is
Anthony.
literally meaningless.
I know the height of Anthony took.
How many times have I got to say it? You weren't looking at Anthony's picture. That's why I asked you to give it us so we could model it and establish things like this. I would have assumed you knew the bloody height that he was taken from.
No, that picture.
No, I know, no. You don't know the height. We know. That's what Arwen's just pointed out to you. So you know nothing about it. It's useless. Yet another useless piece of evidence. Totally disingenuous.
It conflicts with Chris Monk's model.
You don't know it conflicts with anything if you don't know the height of the observer. It could have been taken from the ISS for all you know.
It never conflicts. It should never conflict with a picture taken from St. Bees. I know it's taken from St. Bees.
You don't know the height.
Conflict.
Shut up about this picture.
You don't like talking about Anthony's
Shut up
composite.
about this picture, you disingenuous little man.
Do you want me to talk about Anthony's composite then?
Don't want you to talk about anything. I want you to go and get scientific proof of Earth curvature. How many times have I got to ask you?
And by the way, here's the real horizon.
Not by the way. You've just asked what I want. Now I'm telling you. Not asking. Go and get scientific proof of Earth curvature, Rumpus. Yeah? That's what I'm telling you to go and do. Not asking anymore.
We see it, therefore it's there, and now you're claiming it isn't. I'm amazed.
You presume you see curve. It's a presumptive argument.
No, I don't presume it.
Yes, you do. Like you presume that the horizon is closer to us than the targets we're looking at. That is a presumption that we debunked yesterday.
How did you debunk that?
How did we debunk that? Anybody who wants to see Rumpus have his toes held to the fire, go and see Dip Angle Debunked or Flat Earth Debate 169, where he was absolutely taken to pieces on this total crap assumption that we can measure an actual horizon, because we don't have one. We have an apparent horizon, as conceded after demonstration by Rumpus yesterday. Dip Angle Debunked or Flat Earth Debate 169. Apparent horizon proven by Anthony and conceded by Rumpus.
Not conceded at all.
Yes, it was conceded. It was demonstrated and then we got a concession from you. A very simple concession that the actual horizon that you drew a line on was in fact not the actual horizon. You couldn't not concede it. You couldn't not concede it. You were forced to concede it, and that is precisely what you did.
Do you think that the horizon's not there?
Nathan, can I just ask, will you go to that video, that you know, that short video that you and I both shared or mirrored last night, and just play from the timestamp? Why is my thing stopped? I think it's 60 in this side chat. I've put the side stamp, but for some reason it's not letting me scroll up now. I think it's 16 minutes and 12 seconds onwards. You can hear the concession by Rumpus where he literally has to admit the point.
Only on your stupid non-horizon picture.
16 minutes, 30 seconds
only on. Sorry, are you going to concede it again, or do I need to go and get this video?
Anthony's picture does not feature horizon.
Up. Are you going to concede it again, or do I need to go and play it?
Anthony's picture doesn't have a horizon. It's a beach. It doesn't have a horizon. It's not the radius of the Earth. It's not water.
16:30, Nathan. Go and play it.
Water. It's not water, is it? It's not a horizon.
Right, that's our point. That's our point. So on that image that Rumpus is saying it's not a horizon, he's now using our point as though it's his point. Correct, Rumpus. It's not a horizon. That is exactly our point. It's an apparent horizon. So yes, Rumpus, it would seem that I don't need to go and get that video after all because you've just conceded it now. Correct. It's not the horizon, as stated by Rumpus. Correct. Well done.
Right, a piece of sand. A mountain isn't a horizon.
Oh, you go all high-pitched when you like this, don't you, Rumpus? Maybe you could go up another octave.
Yes, I know. But I'm trying to get through to your poor dormant organ in your head called a brain.
We don't need to. We don't have a dip angle that's measurable. That's been debunked and conceded by Rumpus.
The horizon is the curve.
This has been conceded by you.
You use water. That's the radius of the Earth. You don't use random.
We also had another example alongside this beach with a dog that was flying. Looming dog. We also had the Isle of Man example, which has something which we call the nose cone. Obviously, land doesn't go underneath itself. Obviously, it's not a nose cone. It is a very obvious refraction. It is an obvious mirage. It is an obvious thing over water which necessitates there being an apparent horizon and not an actual horizon.
How far off do you think the apparent horizon is, Nathan? How far off in the composite that I was sharing here do you think the real horizon is underneath the apparent horizon? Now you're calling. You're saying you're not.
You don't know where the real horizon is, Rumpus. Neither do we. That's the point.
And there it is.
We don't know.
Tell me where you think the horizon.
We don't know. That's the point. We only have an apparent horizon, Rumpus, not an actual horizon.
Nathan, it's where you see it. It's there.
Yeah, that's what we have absolutely unequivocally debunked. It's not where you see it. That is simply the apparent horizon, and has been demonstrated and conceded by Rumpus on Dip Angle Debunked or Flat Earth Debate 169.
You'll be telling me a mountain is where the horizon is next. You use water. You use water to tell you where the horizon is. You don't use random bits of.
We had both examples. Again, I will say it for anybody who wants to see Rumpus's toes held to the fire with examples on screen with both water and beach. Neither were usable as an actual horizon. Both had the same effect of miraging.
Why not show a mountain, Nathan? Anthony could have shown me a mountain. Say, look, there you are. That's
could have done, could have done, should have done, would have done.
Yeah,
2,000 years you've had to provide scientific proof of Earth curvature, and this little debacle is the best you've got, Rumpus, to argue about where the horizon is in a theodolite. That's the best you can do. That's the closest thing you've got to scientific proof of Earth curve. It's pathetic.
Didn't I just give you a link to another paper?
Just, it's pathetic. That's the best you can do. That's the best example you have of demonstrable scientific proof of Earth curvature. It's sad. Sad.
Here we go, and I've got some more for you.
So present it. Bring it up on screen and take us through it. Take us through it, Rumpus.
More papers incoming. I've just given you another 4.
Well, tell us all about it, Rumpus. What is it?
Okay, well, which one would you like to talk about?
I would like scientific proof of Earth curvature.
Okay, but do you accept that by looking at bits of mountains or bits of beach, that's not the horizon that follows the curve of the Earth? That could be anything.
This is not scientific proof of Earth curvature.
But do you accept that picture's not
scientific? I don't want to hear about what I would and wouldn't accept. You present it, and I'll debunk it.
I'm telling you, scientists would reject Anthony's picture as a curve of the Earth horizon.
So would I. I would say that it's not adhering to the scientific method.
Great.
Please go away, Rumpus, and find me some scientific proof of Earth curvature. That's what we need. I don't want you to tell me what men in white coats would and wouldn't accept.
Excellent.
I am the only person who is in the position to accept anything. It's me that you need to appeal to. Not science, not consensus, not photographs, not NASA, me. So go and provide me
what you would accept.
With scientific proof of Earth curvature.
So that's why, Nathan, it's because of that. That's why I asked you what you would and would not accept.
I will accept the following. Scientific proof of Earth curvature. That is what I will accept. That is what I have asked for. I estimate 70 times I have asked you for scientific proof of Earth curvature. No more, no less.
Yes, but Nathan, I did ask you what you would accept. Do you remember me?
I'll say it again then. No problem. You can ask me what I'll accept as many times as you like, and I will repeat it. I will accept scientific proof of Earth curvature.
The body of science does that.
The body of science is the scientific method. Therefore, falls under the same umbrella when I ask for scientific proof. The body of science is the scientific method. Therefore, when I ask for scientific proof of Earth curvature, it would have to adhere to the scientific method, which is the entire body of science.
No, it's not. The body of science uses the scientific method.
No, the entire body of science is the scientific method. No more, no less, no men from white coats, no men from NASA, no consensus opinion, no journals, just the scientific method. That's the entire body of science.
So you wouldn't accept. So all these papers I've just been posting, you're not going to accept them because they appear in scientific journals. You're going to reject them.
If they have adhered to the scientific method and provide scientific proof of Earth curvature, I would be insane to reject them.
NASA adheres to the scientific method.
So we can repeat that, can we?
Yes, you can. NASA adheres to the scientific method. Probably more scientists in NASA than any other institution around the world.
Back to 3 days ago. There's the we that Rumpus refers to, we meaning the elites like China and Russia, and then there's the we that I refer to, which is me. Us.
Okay.
On the panel, can I repeat what NASA provide as scientific proof of Earth curvature?
Sorry, was there a question there?
Yes. Can I repeat it?
Oh, right, yes. Yes, okay, you could go up into space, but obviously, personally, that might be a bit difficult.
It might be a bit difficult, That sounds very, very weaselly, Rumpus. Very weaselly. Like a no. Like a no. I personally cannot go and verify this. Neither can you. Neither can Ruhif. Neither can Ranty. Thank you very much for joining us, Ranty. Good to have you here.
To the earth. How about that? Wouldn't you like to do that?
Can I hijack a sec, please? I'd like to suggest something a little bit more constructive. Ranty's got plenty of evidence where the horizon appears to be in one place, but then actually turns out to be somewhere else when you realise that there's evidence within the evidence that makes you then realise, hey, this isn't an actual horizon. If Ranty could have 5 minutes to prepare some examples, it would be really useful to show the Rumpus that the actual horizon isn't actually the real horizon. It's an apparent horizon.
Okay, I'll let him do that. Before I do that, but you do realise that one set of atmospheric conditions does not mean those atmospheric conditions pertain elsewhere, like with your diagram.
Did you hear what I just said?
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, but just before I'll let him do that, but just before that, I just want to make sure you understand when you've got some set of conditions, like mirage conditions, that doesn't necessarily mean to say that those conditions are everywhere, like the dog thing. It's like saying, I've seen one yellow car, therefore all cars are yellow.
But again, I asked the question like I asked in chat yesterday. If you didn't have artifacts on the horizon, like turbines or mountains or whatever, how would you know whether you're seeing an actual or an apparent horizon when you've got nothing else to reference it?
In your composite pictures, it's very clear where the horizon is.
Right, but what if there was no mountain there and you were measuring the horizon?
No,
that'd be fine. That's exactly
not very clear. So, Rumpus, demonstrated to you yesterday were both the sandy beach with the dog that flies and also the Isle of Man with a very distinct inverted mirage.
I missed the start of that, I'm afraid, Nathan. You have to
just try shutting up.
No, it was Anthony talking, not me.
Right. On the Isle of Man images, there is a distinct mirage. So when you claim with the presupposition that the horizon...
Mirage?
Why are you interrupting me? When you claim with a presupposition that the horizon is closer to you, therefore what you see is what you get, that is a presuppositional argument. It assumes you're on a sphere.
No, I just assume I see what's there. I say what I see. It's there. If I see it, it's there.
Yeah, and is what you see closer to you than the Isle of Man?
I can see horizon, and I say that's what I see, and you can prove it though. If you put ships, we've seen. I mean,
sorry, you don't seem to want to answer a direct question ever. Is the horizon that you see closer to the target or not?
No.
I'm sorry, I missed that with Erwin's interruption.
No problem. The horizon, Rumpus, that you see, is it closer to you than the targets in the distance?
Closer.
Oh, right. So it is based on a presupposition that we're on a curve, forcing the horizon to be sooner than the actual targets we're looking at. So it is a presuppositional argument that we're on a sphere, Rumpus. As stated by me, you unequivocally are using a presupposition that we are on a sphere because you believe that the horizon is closer to you, therefore causing obstruction because of your presupposition that we live on a sphere. This is why I have asked you in excess of 70 times to prove your presupposition of sphericity and actually provide scientific proof, rather than just assuming things and saying, go to the beach with your theodolite and use my presupposition that the horizon's closer. Well, we won't beg the question, Rumpus. You need to prove it first. So prove the R. Okay, I can do that. Prove the R in 7.6R with scientific proof.
Okay. Were you saying we don't know where the horizon is, but we have got pictures where we've got boys and...
I'm saying you insert a presupposition. We say we don't know. It's an apparent horizon. You say, I do know. And it's closer to us. Because you presuppose that we live on a sphere. With no proof. No scientific evidence offered. None.
No. Right, I can prove it to you. We have buoys and ships that have appeared on the horizon.
So ships on the horizon don't adhere to the scientific method, Rumpus. How many times?
Well.
Well. Yes, that's right. My standards are scientific in nature.
No, they're not.
The ship goes over the refraction zone, and then if the
You don't know
air
what
is
you're talking
clear
about.
enough, you can see
You don't
it
know what refraction
go
zone is.
off in a straight
don't even
line
know what
into the
refraction is.
distance from there on, if the ship is high enough.
We have got measurements. I mean, I've got. We have pictures where we have boats and things right on the horizon.
Again, pictures and boats are not the scientific method, Rumpus. You've had 2,000 years and you've been asked 71 times. So how many more times have I got to ask you the same question? How many times will you pre-insert this presupposition of curve that you have no scientific proof for? How many times will you ask Arwin whether or not he understands maths when you've just been asked for scientific proof?
Well, the trouble is you don't understand what scientific proof is. If I show you
I understand implicitly what the scientific method is.
Mathematical.
I understand what the scientific method is, and I want you to adhere to it.
You understand that maths can be part of the scientific method.
Observe a phenomenon, review it, construct a formal hypothesis, test it and experiment it, analyse the data, invalidate the hypothesis, report results. That's the scientific method. That is the body of science. That is it. There is no appeals to authority. There are no presuppositions. There are no men in white coats. There are no photographs in that list. That's the scientific method. That's what I want you to demonstrate that has been adhered to in demonstrating Earth curvature.
And it uses maths, doesn't it, Nathan?
Did you listen to the list?
Yes, and did you listen to me saying it's maths involved as well?
Didn't say the word maths.
I know you didn't. I did. Because if you
that's because you just insert nonsense wherever it feels appropriate. Like curvature, like horizons. You just insert whatever presupposition you hold true, and you go about it with a dogma that is unrivaled. Your belief in curve is rivaled only by the Christian fundamentalists.
When we see a boat go over the horizon, Nathan, does that not put it in between the horizon and the object in the distance? Therefore, you know the horizon is this side of the boat. Very simple.
That's only the apparent horizon. That's where the refraction zone starts.
No longer what we see what's there, say what we see.
And then as the ship goes over that apparent horizon, into the distance, into the vanishing,
oh my God,
it does not drop down at a cumulative rate because there's no curvature.
I can't believe it.
It just goes on dropping down in a steady, straight line. It does not drop down at a cumulative rate because there is no curvature. No, it's a refraction zone. Refraction zone. It goes on down at a linear rate into the vanishing zone. It does not drop down cumulatively.
Visual evidence apparently is not good enough for you. I'm amazed.
No,
sorry. Visual evidence is not
for this.
adhering to the scientific
method that I just described.
So we've got about half an hour left. Hope you're all enjoying the debate thus far. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth debate. If you would like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside the show while it's live, and a link in the info box below the video once it has rendered. So check it out on Nathan Oakley 1980, where these streams will hopefully continue in the next few weeks. But most importantly, I'm about to share the link, so if you would like to join the panel, simply click that link in the info box below this video to join the discussion and express your views on the shape of the Earth. If you do join the panel, please do not swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin using stock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show, as this increases the live audience, which in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show, and there is about, I don't know, half an hour approximately left on this live stream.
Talk about horizons more, but really,
behind the apparent horizon there is no cumulative drop because
you don't know what you don't know what
it goes on in a straight line behind the apparent horizon in the vanishing zone due to refraction bending the light upwards. Everything that moves behind the apparent horizon, including ships, they do not drop down in a rate.
We can see it, Erwin. We can see it.
Line.
Don't deny your eyes, Erwin. Don't deny what your eyes
effect called refraction. It's not a cumulative drop.
Can I just have
go ahead?
1 sec, please?
Hello, Philip. How you doing?
Hello.
Hello. Good to have you. Long time no see.
I think we need to improve that a go.
I just wanted to ask Ranty whether he had anything that he could present.
I've got something, yeah.
Thomas Gibson.
Hello.
He's here.
Good to have you, Thomas.
So I actually need to go in like literally 5 minutes, but so can I just present something real quick and then go?
Sure.
Yeah, I don't see why
Okay,
not, Philip.
great.
Even though there's a massive
Great.
queue.
Okay. So let's do this. Let me pull up my screen. Share screen. Window. Okay. Great. Can you see?
We can see.
Great. So what I have here is a picture taken by, I think, Al K, if I'm correct, Rumpus?
Oh, yes, right. Yeah, of course. Yes, sorry, yes. Good
Yes.
point. Yeah.
So here's my hypothesis. This is the peaks of Snaefell and North Perul as seen from 20 meters above the ocean level at St. Bees. This is exactly where the picture was taken. And as you can see, my hypothesis shows that Snaefell should be above North Perul on the flat Earth model. I also included standard refraction according to the standard model of the atmosphere. And as you can see, both of these hypotheses do not match the actual
Sorry, according
observation,
to the standard
which is a
refraction.
photo.
So, did you not listen to anything
Well,
that was just said, Philip? So we have this standard refraction that begs the question. You understand that, right?
No, this is a flat Earth model.
Said
So,
with
I mean, you
standard
can take it
refraction.
with or without refraction. It doesn't matter. This is without standard refraction. This is with
Hey, P Mars, how you doing?
P-Mars.
Hi.
Good to have you.
So, and this is taking into account perspective. So this is taken at, these are straight line distances from the peaks of Snaefell and the peak of North Perul to the observer. This is a perspective view. There's no orthographic projection. And this is exactly what you would expect to see.
What is the observer height?
20 meters.
Okay.
And the picture was taken at 20 meters as well.
Exactly.
Interesting.
And so therefore we've got the flat Earth model conflicts with what we see, as you'd expect. And it agrees
And
with the
if
spherical
you-
Earth model.
Yes, so if you let me present, I will show you the spherical model. Let's see. Open. And I need to share. Stop sharing. Hold on. Give me a second. Sorry.
No worries.
You mentioned the porn bombing of Sean Hufford earlier, Nathan. I am partly responsible for that because I shared the link. I made it public. So that's my bad.
Everybody thinks you did it, P Mars.
Yeah, I didn't.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean, I'm responsible for it because I made the link public, but I didn't snipe anyone or porn bomb personally.
Do you know who did?
Someone in my Discord, I don't know who they are on YouTube, but I just know their Discord name, which is useless. So
Thanks for that, Pete. Now you've got it out. No disrespect. Can you just let Philip get on with it?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry, I got to get to work. So yeah, this is the same thing, but just for a round Earth model, and this is including standard refraction based on the modeling that I talked to you guys before. Yeah, and it shows very good agreement with the actual picture. I mean, overlaying them, the peaks are almost perfectly matching.
Can I ask how it is?
I really have to go, but I can come on another day and we can actually ask questions. I'm really sorry.
No worries, Philip. No, thank you. I know you've worked hard on that. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
I've been waiting to try and get in and talk about this for a while, and yeah, this is the only time I have.
Just before anybody interrupts
thank
him,
you
I know
very
you've got to
much
get off,
for,
Philip. Is there anything
share
else
this.
you wanted to add without interruption for anyone else?
Nope, that's basically all I have to say. So you guys can, if you want, I can provide you the pictures and you can pick it apart as much as you want. But yeah, I will be back at some point to talk.
Thanks, Philip. Much obliged. Really appreciate it.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.
See you.
Excellent
Fireball.
spherical Earth proof. Excellent spherical Earth proof.
Okay, Rumpus. I'm sharing my screen if you want to take a peek at it.
Okay.
And I'd like you to tell me where you think the horizon is here on this video.
Right, it's where the blue, where the blue, grey,
here,
So,
these waves,
yep. Yeah, that's about the horizon. Yep.
that's the horizon. Brilliant.
Yep.
That's a flat Earth proof then.
No, it isn't.
It's an absolute flat Earth slam dunk proof.
Well, you cannot jump from there is the horizon to that being the proof.
Well, if you say that that is the
Oh,
horizon,
come on, Ranty. Is a picture the scientific method, champ?
it's a flat Earth proof because what you have at the bottom, what you have at the bottom underneath the tower, is the tower ballroom, and you can make out the tower ballroom here, and that is only 100 feet tall.
No, well, you can see some refraction. You can see where this is actually these conditions actually showing you some inversion going on here. We can see the things are being reflected, inverted here.
So
but it doesn't change where the position of the horizon is. The horizon's in the right.
You don't think that that's the tower ballroom?
I think he's been sniped. Who was it that got in, Nath?
Flatmate, same guy as Fireball. That didn't last long. How long's the show been running? I put it out an hour and a half. 10 minutes, is that right? Yeah, 10 minutes before he sniped the entire panel. Wonderful.
I didn't even see him come in, to be honest. It's a shame, really, because I really wanted to talk about North Barul being taller than Thingy, because that's kind of important.
Then Snayfell?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, maybe we'll continue tomorrow.
Maybe.
Maybe.
I was hoping Ranty would show some of these obscured horizons, showing that the horizon isn't where it appears to be, because there are things like people walking dogs and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm sure I can get Ranty back on.
Tell you what, let's get Ranty back on his Skype so that
I'm just doing it. Ow! Do you mind? Hello, Ranty.
Hello. That's a shame.
It is a shame. But we're hoping you'll go through some of your proofs. If you can bring up your screen, I'll add our into the call.
Hang on then. Let's right. So how do I get that Skype out of the way? Okay, so let me know when I'm presenting. And I was building up to something then.
You've got plenty of ones that are on the beach that there's stuff that obscures the horizon.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I've got tons of them.
Because what I really want you to do, Ranty, I want you to show evidence.
Sorry?
I want you to show evidence for the benefit of the Rumpus where he claims that the horizon is obvious. And then you can show, well, it's not necessarily the way it appears.
Come down, please. Sorry, I thought I was on mute.
If I take a look at this photograph, I'd say the horizon, the actual horizon, is right in the midpoint of those pillars to the right of that tower, right in the middle of there.
Sorry, just you're now on screen, so people can see you now. Just so you know.
Yeah, this is the point that I'm trying to make, is that we've had Arwin that says that he thinks the horizon is here, and we have Rumpus who thinks that the horizon is here.
Nope.
This is the argument that we're having, because if we leveled the theodolite, and let's say the theodolite was where my mouse is now, where would we identify the horizon? Because you would have Arwin that would identify the horizon here, and you'd have the Rumpus that would identify the horizon much lower than that.
Indeed. Well, that's that's the start of the refraction zone.
But this is the point that I was going to make. Rumpus said that this isn't the tower ballroom. You can't make it out. It's some inversions going on. This is his exact words. But I'm going to bring up another video. Which number was that? So this was taken probably 5 minutes before that. And as you can quite clearly see, the tower ballroom, there's the clock tower. There's the lights on the tower ballroom. You've got some mirrors that are on the wall. I say mirrors. There's a ton of glass panes on the side of the tower ballroom here. You can clearly make out identifying features, and this is where the refraction zone is, where you've just talked about, Arwen. So yes, we can actually see the Tower Ballroom. It's here. It should be from this distance beyond the curve. You shouldn't see any of it. And his horizon is in contrast to what you'd expect to see from what you thought, which would be in the midpoint here.
Can I just play devil's advocate for just one moment, Ranty?
Yeah, of course you can.
Their argument is that this line, let's just get my mouse, you can't see it, but if you can just pause for 1 second. So the globe head argument is that this line that I'm drawing along with my mouse now, the obvious horizon, is based on a presupposition that this is the edge of the curve that we see between us and the things in the distance. So therefore, on the Metabunk calculator, it gives you a distance to horizon. And that is what they are claiming this is. They are saying that this is simply the top edge of a ball. Or to put it another way, it's based on a presupposition we live on a ball that puts this line closer to you. That's why I asked Rumper specifically, is the horizon closer to you?
Yes, and everything behind there is supposedly looming up and reflecting at the same time at the bottom.
Precisely. So beyond that point, everything happens to represent itself as though it's on a flat plane, but that's because it's all looming. But the thing that you see with a hard line, that is the horizon. It's closer to you if you're on a globe. They just don't add those 3 words on at the end. So yeah, just not adding on a globe doesn't mean it's not a presuppositional argument. It is.
I think this was the video that Anthony was referring to, which was the dogs on the beach.
Can I just ask a quick question? So I just heard you like telling Rumpus off for about 2 hours because he couldn't use a photo, and now you're presenting a photo.
Yeah, we'll do what we like.
I know that. I'm just wondering, do you find that hypocritical or?
Not at all.
No, actually, that's a misrepresentation. He didn't stop him from
reference of
presenting
not
anything.
using a photo has more to do with...
You said I've got images, and you said no, an image is not.
Hang on. He didn't stop him from presenting anything. The point in issue was it conforming to the scientific method or not? That was the reason why
it's now conforming to the scientific method.
No, they're not.
Not using a photo was referencing to not using a NASA photo of the globe, because that's something we cannot reproduce. And actual footage from the Earth can be used and can be reproduced and can be fine analyzed as we are doing.
Sorry, I've just got to say this. Dawn's correct. What we are doing is not providing proof of a flat Earth using the scientific method. That's not what we're claiming.
Okay, cool.
What we're doing, Dawn, is debunking certain assertions that are made about the Earth's sphericity. For example, the angle to the horizon, called the dip angle. According to a presuppositional argument, you can measure a dip angle, but you would need to know the actual position of the horizon, and that is based on a presupposition. It's not based on scientific proof.
Right.
See what we have here. We have can you see this line that's going through the image, which is where I'm going to say the horizon actually is. Can you see it there? Just behind the dog and behind the people, behind this guy. Yeah. And it seems to cut off the wind turbines, and then the wind turbines in the background seem to be miraging upon themselves.
Private carpet seller.
So the argument, I think, has basically been, where would you say the horizon, the crosshairs should go on your theodolite? So if you was looking out and you'd set your theodolite up and it was nice.
So if you're trying to debunk the globe, though, this is not the scientific method, is it? Just pointing at some footage.
No, but we are testing. We're not trying to debunk the globe. Can I just clear up? We're not trying to debunk the globe. We're testing what Rumpus claimed was you could hire a theodolite for £25, go to the beach, point it at the horizon, and you could measure the dip angle, and you could then calculate with one simple sum the radius of the Earth. And what Ranty is showing is that the apparent horizon is not the same as the actual horizon. And the issue is, the only reason we can tell this is because there are turbines in the background, and there just so happens to be dog walkers on the beach at the time. The problem is, if you don't have these artifacts, how do you know what is the actual horizon and what is a perceived horizon if there's nothing else in the picture but the horizon?
Right.
These are the claims that are used to prove that you live on a sphere, by the way, Dawn.
They're all
The
calling you
theodolite should be
hypocritical in the
pointed at
Discord.
exactly where the mirage starts to reflect the things above it. That is the actual horizon.
I'm seeing the word hypocrites quite a few times.
Yeah, they can call us a hypocrite. We're not saying, here's our scientific proof of a flat Earth. We have been challenged to go to the beach with a theodolite for £25 and measure a dip angle, proving scientifically that the Earth is a sphere. What we are demonstrating to the audience is the horizon, in quotes, isn't the horizon. There's multiple different things you could pick as being the horizon, Dawn. So this assertion that you can get the sphericity of the Earth by measuring a dip angle is nonsense. That's what we're showing.
Okay.
But how do you feel about that? There's an equation to calculate the radius of the Earth using that dip angle. So, do you accept that's now fallacious, Dawn, or do you just ignore it, or what do you do with this information?
I suppose I'll wait till the results.
These are the results. The results are... I'll lay it out for you. We've been told we can prove the Earth's a sphere. You go to St. Bees with a theodolite, you point it at the horizon, make sure it's level, and the difference between what the theodolite shows as level and the horizon proves a dip angle that is measurable, which can give you the circumference of the Earth. And we're saying, no, you can't. Here's why. The horizon isn't the horizon. It's an apparent horizon. So this is the result.
All I'm going to do is just crop out this area.
There's actually something else on the far left. I'm not sure if it's a walker or a boat, but on the far left of that video, there was something else even higher up on the horizon.
I'll have a look in a sec. What, on the video?
Yeah, there's like somebody, it looks like a woman in a black dress, but even higher up, further left in the image, there's another person that's on a different horizon altogether.
You can see where the dog is. The dog's there. There's the reflection underneath it. There's these two. They must be the owner. And their reflection is down upon it.
Look at them
essentially,
pixels,
you have this, what will looks like sky that's, obviously it's the sky that's been reflected. And it's such a crazy video, crazy effect that what you're getting. But where would you where would you say the horizon is here? If you was looking at it, Rumpus said here, where this...
I'm getting asked to ask you if these can be replicated under different weather conditions.
Yeah, there's loads of examples of exactly this.
Right.
So, yeah, a mirage line at the horizon. Yeah, so when this was demonstrated to the Rumpus, we had two pictures. He said, you've got to do it over water. So we went straight to a picture over water and demonstrated the exact same effect.
Which Rumpus refused to acknowledge was the same. He then made an appeal to he basically said, but you know that these are not the same. And I was like, no, they're exactly the same. He desperately pleaded with me to make some kind of admission that there was in any way some difference between the two. And I said, no, there is no difference. It is the same thing. And if we didn't have the thing in the background, how would you know whether it was a real horizon or an apparent horizon? Tumbleweed.
There you go, Ranty just had it. So what you had a distinct line between it, and it's definitely higher up than both those people and the dog. That black thing, it doesn't matter what it is, it's got a line through it and a refraction below it. So is that the horizon?
What, this here?
No, left.
Oh, that.
Keep going.
That's a person. That's a person.
Right.
You actually see him before he disappears. He's like goes in and then he fades out. It's weird. On the video.
Is that the horizon then? We don't know what the horizon is. There's lots of horizons.
Yeah, and that's what we're trying to say. We're not trying to say the Earth's flat. What we're saying is we don't know where the horizon is because there appears to be at least more than one.
There's actually three on this. You've got one here. You have the band that's going through where these people are stood on. But higher than that again, you have this refraction layer where the wind turbines are in the background.
Well, my overall point though was, Ranty, my overall point was if you got the blue marker and scribbled out all those turbines so that there was just sky there, and you got rid of the people and their reflection that were under them, you would perceive the horizon to be lower than where it clearly is not, because you can see that it's not where it looks like it is. The horizon is clearly higher because there's at least a dog stood on the horizon. You can argue.
Yeah, there's no way you can on this day, if you went to the beach with a theodolite, there is absolutely, if you was looking in this direction, there's absolutely no way you could tell where the horizon was.
You'd probably come back thinking that the Earth was as small as what Soundly shows it at 16 miles.
Well, that's just the simple facts are you wouldn't be able to tell where the horizon is on this day. Correct. Looking in this direction. That's it. So him saying that you can go along to the beach with a theodolite, 25 quid for the day. You know, if you went and the conditions were like this, you wouldn't know where you was going to be pointing. The theodolite would be leveled, but you wouldn't know where the crosshairs were going to be. You wouldn't know where to put them to get your angle because you don't know where the horizon is. So, theodolite debunked.
Yeah, angle, utterly debunked.
So then the question is, Dawn, do you agree with the evidence that you presented with?
I don't know where the horizon is.
Could you tell us where the horizon is on here?
He said, P says, I don't know where the horizon is. Excellent.
Yeah, very honest. I wanted to join. I don't know where the horizon is.
I can make a guess where it is. I think it's where those windmills are being obstructed.
Yeah,
sure.
we can all make a guess, Dawn, but the point is that we've been presented this as though it's scientific proof of Earth curvature. And when we're having a little guess, that's not very scientific now, is it?
And when you're measuring it with a theodolite, which is supposed to be incredibly accurate, and it probably is, these guesses are important, aren't they? Because it's going to be based, it's going to alter the radius of the Earth that we're trying to calculate with this very simple sum. So my point
it's not going to alter the radius of the Earth, is it? That's fixed.
Could we use a scientific method to find the horizon?
Was that with a theodolite, you could measure the dip angle and therefore calculate the radius of the Earth. Now, if your dip angle varies significantly, which this shows that it can do, then it means that your radius is going to vary because you're changing the size of the Earth by changing the size of the dip angle.
Yeah. In essence, this dip angle thing is totally fallacious and in no way scientific. It in absolutely no way proves that there's a curve. It's not scientific proof of Earth curvature. It's scientific proof of nothing. Literally nothing. So when Dawn says, well, the radius of the Earth is fixed. No, Dawn. The radius of the Earth is not fixed. The radius that you think the Earth has is simply a presupposition with absolutely zero scientific proof to actually back it up. That's the point. And with that, I'm going to say first and foremost, with a working camera today, a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of the debating panel for joining the show and making this debate possible. Also, a massive thank you to all of the live audience for tuning in and hopefully for sharing this debate. If you've not done so already, be sure to like, comment, share and subscribe. I've been Nathan Oakley and I will see you all in the next video.